And so I welcome you to listen to All Roads Decentralization. And here is none other but Alex Mashinsky, the founder of the Celsius Network. And Alex, please go on, and we look forward to hearing exactly your contribution on this particular event. I'll let you do your thing while I watch you backstage.
Thanks, John, and thanks everybody for joining. Just a few words about me and what we do. So again, my name is Alex Mashinsky. I'm a founder of Celsius Network. This is my 8th startup as a founder, and been in New York for the last 30 years, developing tech companies. One of my first companies was basically the originator of Voice over IP. And Voice over IP was a great example of decentralization, right? We basically took the power away from the phone companies and gave it to the people. And we're using, like today in this session, we're using Voice over IP without actually paying $3 a minute to this or that phone company. So the same way that we use the internet to decentralize power from the phone companies, today we're going through this amazing reinvention of what money is, and we're decentralizing money, right? We're taking money away from being managed or monopolized by centralized institutions like banks and central banks or government, and really opening up a new world of financial services that is running on the blockchain, is running on decentralized protocols using open ledgers and systems that really are completely different. It's like a completely different DNA than our traditional financial system. And the reason we need decentralization, is because the pendulum has swung too far in the direction of banks. Banks have abused their relationships with their customers. Today, at least American banks are reporting record profits every quarter, yet the interest they pay their customers has never been lower. So what Celsius created is a world in which you can basically take your money from the bank, move it over to have it run on the blockchain, and suddenly you're earning 10% on your money, on the same money that used to sit in the bank account or nothing. So 10% today on your dollars is 100 times more than the average rate that is paid by different banks. And there's many countries around the world where the rates are actually negative. So you have to pay the bank to hold your money. So again, we all know banks make money on the capital we give them, but we are the ones who really create this money through our hard work. And decentralization, again, shifts the power from these centralized institutions, toll collectors, intermediaries, the people who sit in the middle, takes the power away from them and brings it back to us. So the blockchain basically has today several thousand assets on it. The most popular ones that everybody knows are Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, right? Those are the kind of like the 3 leading, most popular, most transacted coins. And those assets can not just be a store of value, but also serve as yield, right? So the 2 killer apps, the 2 kind of main services that the blockchain provides, is the ability to detach yourself from your fiat currencies, from your local currencies in your country, and basically transport yourself into being denominated or being basically counted in Bitcoin or Ethereum or stablecoin. And each one of those has a different use case or different characteristics. For example, Tether or USDC are stable coins, meaning they're still attached to the US dollar, but they're a digital currency, meaning they're living on the blockchain. You can move them instantly, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. And again, if you take them, for example, deposit them at Celsius, we perform lending functions which result in yield, and we give 80% of that yield, 80% of the income, instead of going to the shareholders of the bank, is going to the depositors of Celsius, for example. So Celsius has 500,000 users all over the world. We service over 200 countries, and anyone in the world can take their hard-earned cash, convert it into a stable coin, and immediately start earning interest. Or you can basically convert your fiat or your local currency into Bitcoin, deposit it with Celsius, and earn something like 6% on your Bitcoin. So your Bitcoin is now earning Bitcoin, or your Ethereum is earning Ethereum. And beyond just being obviously the fundamental cryptocurrencies that run on the global blockchain, they're also now not just store of value, but they're also creating yield. So we're seeing this migration from centralized finance, or CeFi, into DeFi, or decentralized finance. And really today, the world of DeFi is a very small world. There's only, I would say, less than 500,000 users worldwide that benefit from these services. At the same time, we obviously know that that if there's 7.8 billion people on the planet, most of them are going to say yes if you ask them, do you want to earn interest on your money? So we think that in the next several years, there's going to be mass migration of people moving from centralized finance to decentralized finance. And at Celsius, what we've done is build the bridge, right? Created the bridge where you can just download the app or go to the website and basically sign up to the service and join this decentralized finance family without being an expert, without knowing about cryptography or understanding how to really operate on the blockchain, or having to be an expert at managing private keys, or understanding about being an expert in technology. So for all of us to bring the next 100 million people or the next billion people, we need to really create very simple and intuitive applications that run on somebody's smartphone or run on somebody's computer, and allow them to become part or participant in this global digital village. So today we have basically 3 initiatives. There are 3. There's a race going on between 3 different initiatives. There's a government version of digital finance, and you've seen the Chinese government, some other countries in Europe, and even in the United States, experimenting with different digital currencies. And the government version, most of the time, does not have limited supply, meaning unlike Bitcoin or Ethereum or Celsius, the cell token that we have, governments are just going to continue to print more and more money. And as they print more and more money, obviously the value of that money is going to continue to go down. One of the main advantages that cryptocurrencies have is that many of them have limited supply. And by having limited supply, they retain the value very, very well. As an example, Bitcoin has appreciated over 10 million% in the last 12 years against the US dollar. So the US dollar went down and Bitcoin went up because Bitcoin only has 21 million coins that will ever be created, versus, as we know, the US dollar, the government is printing trillions of dollars almost every day to basically support the COVID efforts and support the financial system and the status of the dollar as the reserve currency of the world. So again, a race between 3 different entities. The government efforts is one. Then there's a corporate version. So you will see different banks like JP Morgan and others instituting or offering a digital version of their services. Usually they use that for settlement, but it's really a corporate version of the blockchain, a corporate version of digital currencies that is not an open standard. These are proprietary implementations. And the third version is almost like the internet. It's an open source version where everybody gets to participate. It's a global standard, and that's part of what Celsius is. We're part of that family of the global open blockchain, which has many, many different examples like Bitcoin, like Ethereum, and so on. So we see, again, the two main applications that are the killer app, or the things that are driving adoption, being store value, meaning people want to move away from their fiat currencies. Obviously, in countries like Argentina or Venezuela or Turkey, or in many countries in Africa, you have debasement of the value of the currency. And because of that, Bitcoin has been a great alternative, or a great way to save on your assets and be able to retain value. And the second killer app is this way to earn yield. And I invite all of you to try it. It's a simple app. You just go to Celsius Network, you sign up, and you can immediately start both earning as well as retaining the value of your currencies. Thanks for
Awesome.
joining.
Awesome. Alex, thank you very much for such a presentation. I've been a follower of your work for quite a while, and also sometimes being, participant in some of your anticipated controversial conversations on Twitter and YouTube.